fans, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Little post game show after the post game show action on this fine Wednesday evening. All right, that hasn't gone as planned the last couple of days, but we obviously all know the reason why, so I don't want to make too big of a deal of the Lakers' two losses in a row, but I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Here's what I'll spend some time doing in the show today or tonight. We'll talk a little bit about the game. Not much, by the way, because there's not much to talk about. We'll talk about the two losses. We'll talk about how important Friday is going to become and what an opportunity that is for the Lakers, but you got to get your people back. And then the last thing that I'll do is Woj had something on NBA Today that talked a little about the Lakers, that December 15th date, all that stuff. So I'll get into that. Okay, let's talk about the game here. And I think I have about 7 seconds on the game. Yeah, the Lakers didn't have their guys. You're not going to win many games without your two best players. Obviously, without LeBron James, without Anthony Davis. I don't know what to tell you here. I wasn't expecting this to be much of a game. I didn't like the fact that they were down 11-0 before you even blinked. That wasn't ideal. And, they never led. They were never a threat. 27, I think at one point they were down 27 points. So nothing really to sugarcoat here. It just kind of is what it is. Lakers, without LeBron and without Anthony Davis, had no shot against the Toronto Raptors. And the only thing that you're hoping for in a game like this is, all right, if their guys are not there, then maybe Toronto takes the Lakers lightly. Maybe Toronto, maybe just maybe they kind of, in their own mind, maybe they just don't come out prepared and the Lakers can find a way to make this interesting. Not the case at all. Lakers get their you-know-what's kicked, and I'm not too surprised or shocked about that. What I'd like to have seen, I thought guys like Lonnie Walker, this was a good game for him to kind of step up and see what he can do when he's got, when he's got pretty much the reins to do whatever he wants. Austin Reeves was 4 of 12. He struggled, took 6 threes, couldn't hit a three. Let's see who else struggled. Schroeder had 18. Thomas Bryant had 16. Most of their damage came from the free throw line. Russ was 5 of 13. Only 3 assists for him. I thought he'd kind of stockpile on some of those assists, but maybe that's because nobody was hitting any shots. But was not going to happen tonight. We'll just keep it at that. And I don't want to spend too much time on this game, and I don't want to spend too much time on yesterday's game either. I think this 2-game losing streak is a... Did you guys ever see Donnie Brasco? In Donnie Brasco, there's a scene with Johnny Depp and Al Pacino, and Al Pacino comes in, shows him some diamonds, and Donnie Brasco turns and says it's a fugazi. These last 2 games, Laker fans, in my opinion, are fugazis. They're not real. Do not judge the Lakers off these last 2 games, so don't pay too much attention to it. By the way, Donnie Brasco, arguably one of the most underrated mob movies that's out there. That's all I'm saying. If you haven't seen Donnie Brasco, go see Donnie Brasco. Okay. I took a left here. I know. We're talking Lakers, Raptors. Then all of a sudden, it's Donnie Brasco and Johnny Depp and Al Pacino. What do you want me to tell you? It's a good movie. Okay, so do not pay attention to these last 2 games. There's nothing you can really take away from it. It is frustrating that we didn't really get a chance to see what the Lakers can do in this Eastern Conference, this swing of these last 2 games. I want to get to that Philly game coming up on Friday, but before I do that, let me tell you what I was looking for on this road trip. What I was looking for when this road trip started, there was a couple things that I was paying attention to, a couple things that I was kind of keeping an eye out for. One of them was your record, okay? The Lakers, I think if they went 3-3 on this road trip before it started, I would think it's a success. I didn't think they were going to go 3-3. I predicted 2-4. I just was having a difficult time seeing how much the Lakers have struggled on the road this year against good teams. I was having a difficult time trying to find what W's the Lakers were going to get on this road trip. How are they going to get to 3 wins? That means they're going to have to upset 2 teams. When I say upset, I'm just talking about, obviously playing on the road. It's not like every team they're playing here is, they're the best team out there. You thought you were going to get your 2 against the Wizards and the Pistons, and then who are you going to upset from there? If you got to 3 wins, you would be successful. They started out 2-0. Now that they're sitting at 2-2, um, put the wins and losses to the side for a quick second. One of the things that I was hoping for on this road trip is what do the Lakers look like against good teams, average teams, decent teams on the road? They passed with flying colors against the Milwaukee Bucks. They took advantage of a Washington Wizards team without Bradley Beal. And then, obviously, these last two games, what sucks about it is we have nothing to judge them off of in these last two games. I wanted to see if the Lakers were healthy. Hey, Cavs, third best team in the Eastern Conference. Can you go have a game against them and can you come back? Remember, they lost by 14 early in the season against the Cavs. Can you get a little payback? Well, AD only plays 8 minutes, has no impact to the game, so we didn't get a chance to see that test. Tonight, we obviously didn't get to see that chance. Dennis Schroeder, Wenyen Gabriel, Patrick Beverly, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, all out of this game. The key to being LeBron and AD, we never got to see that test. This is why I'm paying attention and I'm most looking forward to the game on Friday. I got no insider on this, but I'm just going to speak out of my you know what. If AD had the flu, what do you have it yesterday, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, my hope is he can go. That'd be almost 3 days of rest if he's able to go on Friday against the Philadelphia 76ers. I think Braun, this was just strategic for the Lakers on a back-to-back. Let's make sure that he doesn't play. Hopefully a similar thing for Patrick Beverly as well. But I do look at that game coming up on Friday, if the Lakers can have their guys, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are playing, that kind of all of a sudden becomes a big game for the Lakers. It gives them an opportunity to, obviously win a tough road game. It's Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, and I know they don't have the best record in the NBA. I know they're playing kind of below what their vision was before the season started. I want to say they're 12-12, and they lost 3 games in a row. So keep that one in mind. And they'll be well rested because they played a game, I want to say, yesterday and have no games in between before that game coming up on Friday. They've lost 3 games in a row. Like I mentioned, Harden is back. That's a big one. If the Lakers are healthy and they got their crew and you're playing a 500 Philadelphia 76ers team, you got a chance to win that game. And winning that game, I think winning and losing that game could kind of send you on two paths here. Winning that game will tell you that, hey, the Lakers at that point will be 3-2 on the road trip, and the only 2 losses that they've had are against 2 squads where they didn't have their guys. AD doesn't play in one, AD and Braun don't play in the other. So you can really kind of tell yourself a story. No, this is the Lakers team that you're looking for. This is the Lakers team that played against the Milwaukee Bucks, that won 8 of 10 games or whatever the case is. If they lose that game to the Philadelphia 76ers, let's just use as an example, they lost by 10 or 12 or whatever the case is, then you kind of start going back to, well, maybe the Lakers just had a good stretch and played a really good game against the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of think that game is becoming, I think you guys can tell how I'm hyping up that game a little bit, how I think it's important. I think it's important for the reasons that I just mentioned, especially if everybody's playing. Because if you can beat Philly and you're 3-2 on this road trip with 1 game left against the Pistons on Sunday, Laker fans, you got a chance to go 4-2 on this road trip. And I will tell you, before the road trip started, you'd take 3-3. However, I really want to see what happens in that game on Friday night. I got somebody's here saying, I'm afraid Milwaukee was a fluke and our streak is really just 3 wins over the Spurs. You could be right. I don't know what to tell you. You could be right because it's such a small sample size that you can make a case and, you can make a fair point there of saying maybe that was just a fluke. But I don't have the answer for you because I'm going to go back to this. If they come back Friday night, everybody's there, and they beat the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm going to start leaning more towards, guys, they've been showing us that they're improving and that they could beat good teams or average teams, however you want to call it. They could go up against star players and win, and Anthony Davis looks good again. They can make that case if they win that game on Friday, but I could see the case that you're making if they lost that game on Friday. So something to keep in mind here. I'm going to read off some of these comments here. Love to see what we've got on Friday night, Allen. It's hard to judge this team. I don't disagree with you. I don't think they're the team that started out the season 2-10, and they're probably not the team that won 8 of their last 10 games, right? Are they going to win at an 80% clip? No, they're probably not. So, are you somewhere in the middle? I was doing this on the show this morning. If you had to predict the Lakers win total not even predict. If I told you right now, hey, the Lakers are going to win 40 games this year. Let me make it simple. Lakers are going to win 41 games this year, which would be a 500 record, 41-41. I wouldn't be that surprised. I guess I'd be a little disappointed because I do think I do think the team is improving. AD, the clip that he's been playing at, you'd like to think that they can, create more damage after they dug themselves that hole 2-10. But we'll have to wait and see. So we'll have to see how kind of the rest of the season pans out and see how the Lakers are doing. Damn, Boston is demolishing Phoenix right now, 69-42. Win game on Friday, it will make or break your season. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think it will make or break their season, but I do think it's an important game. What do you think about Russ for Vucevic and DeMar? Okay, I'm going to get into all that stuff in a second. Sliwa, let's get a game of 21 at Echo Park right now. Let me tell you something. I had one of our promotions guys came in here probably within a last half hour. Hey, Al, you still hooping? I almost had to sit him down and be like, my man, it's over. It's over. I play about since COVID started and they shut down all the gyms. I never got back to playing consistent ball. So if you want to play 21, you're basically going to win 21-6. I might get 6 on you because I hit 2 threes. We going 1s and 2s or we going 2s and 3s? We taking free throws after or we not taking free throws after? If you get to 21, you got to hit a shot at the top of the key to close it out. I mean, everybody's got different rules. You know what I mean? I got to know what the rules are here. All right, let me see what else we got here. I'm confident the Lakers have a good chance beating the Sixers. All right, I hope you're right, brother. Hope you are right. Okay, let me point something out here. So I did, I was watching, what was I watching? Oh, NBA Today. NBA Today this afternoon. That makes it a lot easier. Woj was on there. So Adrian Wojnarowski, by the way, the man. Woj is doing his thing. He's on there, and he's talking about kind of scenarios for the Lakers, and they're talking about December 15th. And he mentioned on that clip that the Lakers they're not going to trade that 2027 and 2029 first-round pick unless they're getting all-star caliber player back in return. And that makes me think somebody had put in there the Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan thing. That makes me think instantly of, I'll use that as an example, right? So would the Lakers trade 2 first-rounders in 2027, one in 2027 and one in 29 for DeMar DeRozan and Vucevic? Just use that as an example. I don't know if they will, but it sounds like the only thing that the Lakers are looking at now is they are not going to give up those picks unless they're getting an all-star back. They're not going to give up those picks unless they feel that the Lakers now have a shot at competing in the Western Conference. So keep that one in mind. He said what's probably more likely is a first round, one of those first round picks, or maybe a couple second rounders. I know we keep talking about the Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn contracts, which, if you guys listen to me or Lakers talk, I've had a couple of different guys, say that to me during my shows. Jovan Buha during one show, Lakers talk during the pregame show. Dave Denholm or Dave McMenamin, he had mentioned it to me. So, Yeah, I got people here. They don't need another star. I really think Lakers just need to trade Pat Bev. So it all depends on what kind of player they get back. You know what I mean? It all depends on the type of player that they get back. If they're getting the right role players, if they're getting a shooter, or if they're getting, if you can trade, you can make a Miles Turner deal without giving up Russ and 2 picks. You can do that because you could use, I'm just giving you guys examples. Kendrick Nunn, Pat Bev, maybe one of those first rounders, and you take on a Miles Turner contract. Just as an example, Russ stays on your team. I think that's the bigger question now is, do you want to see Russ stay on the roster or do you want to see Russ go? I'm still of the belief that if you can go get a player like DeMar DeRozan, I think that's real deal. I would take my chances on that. But I think just as important, I want to know what the hell this Lakers team is. And I really was hoping that, some of these games on the schedule will tell us a little bit more. I want AD to show that he didn't just have a great 10-game stretch, that this is sustainable. So we'll obviously have to wait on all that stuff because we don't have those answers. The good news is you got Philly coming up, Boston coming up, Denver coming up, Phoenix, Sacramento, those 2 games on the road. You got tough matchups coming up. So every day you're going to find out a little bit more from this Lakers team. Okay, see what else we got here. I don't get it. They said they wanted to see what this team had before they do any move. Now they said after AD resurgence, they are not trading picks to improve what they have. Well, I'll explain it to you. I think there was a moment where the Lakers were incredibly desperate. I think they were 2-10. There might have been panic there. Russ was still, didn't have a defined role. Anthony Davis wasn't putting up big numbers. The risk of this pick swap with the Pelicans, and if that pick is, top 3, the Pelicans get the pick, and maybe they go draft Victor Wembanyama. There was a lot of things looking bad for the Lakers through the first 12 games. But now that things are improving, I think the thought process with the Lakers is, okay, maybe we can get back to a respectable record. Maybe we could get back to 500. We don't have to be so desperate. I don't think the Lakers are avoiding making a move. I think what the Lakers are doing is avoiding not being fleeced. That Russ trade really hurt them. That Russ trade really, really hurt the Lakers. So I think they're thinking in their mind, our next move has to work. And if it doesn't work, you are setting yourself up to fail here for the future. And clearly the Lakers don't want to do that. They don't want to put themselves in that position. When the Lakers are healthy, they're unstoppable, but trading for another player would be huge. I wouldn't say that when they're healthy, they're unstoppable. I would say that when they're healthy, they're really competitive, and they got a chance in games. That's the way I would describe it. But I don't think anybody's looking at the Lakers right now and saying, maybe after that Milwaukee game for a quick second, you could say, hey, they're turning heads around the NBA, but you got to win more than just one good road win, and you really got to do it for 25, 30, 40 games where people know that, hey, this is actually a really good team. By the way, shout out to my Orlando Magic today. Magic Nation in the house, Orlando Magic over the Clippers in overtime, 116-111. Shout out to the Orlando Magic. Always been a big Magic fan. Big Magic fan. You guys know that. I mean, I don't have to go. Jameer Nelson. That's my guy. That's my guy. I know. I like watching other teams lose. I get it. I understand it. I'm a child, but you know what? It is what it is. We need pieces around Bron and AD, not superstars. David, I don't really want to argue with you on that one. I guess the question is, your superstars then have to be superstars. They have to be superstars. If Anthony Davis is not a top 5 player in the NBA, then I can't give you the argument of, well, you don't need another star. If AD is not a superstar, I don't know who they're competing with this year. They're not. So I guess the Lakers should trade Russ even though he is playing well. LeBron can run the pick and roll with AD. Just depends what you get back. If you obviously are getting some quality players back, you take it from there. I'm this is what the Lakers think. The Lakers think if you're going to go trade those 2 draft picks, you better be getting an all-star back. And don't forget too, let me use this as an example. An all-star back. Go look at free agency next year. There aren't really that many free agents that you think the Lakers are going to be interested in. So part of the reason of getting a guy like DeMar DeRozan is he is under contract past next year or into next year. So that gives you could almost call that a free agency signing, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you some picks. We are wasting AD's prime, and LeBron still's got some juice. Well, that's not their goal. That's not what they're trying to do, but maybe indirectly they are doing it. Laker fans, how about this? How about they just win games when they're all playing together, when LeBron and AD are together, and everything else I think will take care of itself. If they're not winning these games, if they start the season out 2-10 like they did, then that obviously makes it a much more difficult conversation of the Lakers finding ways to improve. Okay, Lake fans, I'm out of here. That is it. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. I will be back on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with Travis Rogers. But my night is over. My night is complete. We will see you guys after the Lakers take on the Philadelphia 76ers coming up on Friday night. Have a good night, Lake fans. Appreciate you guys tuning in.